seating area hatches, walling off the toilet area, and walling up the closet, all on this episode of
the Clutch Trucker Channel.
Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning into another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Yeah, we're going to be putting the hinges on the hatches for the seating area. Got the whole seating area floor all screwed down and everywhere else. It's not a hatch last night after I finished the video. And so we're putting those hinges on. We're going to finish walling off the toilet area and looking at walling off the closet area and getting those boards measured and put up and everything and painted. So that's what we're diving into. So first off, the hinge thing. Well, remember, here's the deck for the seating area right in front of the fridge and freezer and so forth. Closet, sink, toilet, yada yada. So yeah, used a piano hinge there for that top edge. Yes, and I didn't make these cuts the straightest, I know. No one's going to see this, though. This is underneath the cushions. It just has to be here for access to the APU, which, see now, it's just a little bit bigger than the APU box, so I have access to change that filter out, and you can take those tops off if you need to get in there and access it. Otherwise, drops down, you put your cushions on top, and you got a couch, baby. Alright, so there's that rear hatch now that it's got a hinge on it. Yeah, I know that's not the nicest round or straightest cuts for those, but I was using the multi-tool and it works. Like I say, none of this will be seen, it'll be under cushions. Whole point of this was just to have access underneath my deck here for my seating area. And I'll have access to this, and this will be inside a cabinet, so you won't even see this one either. So there you go. Alright, here's my painted and put together now wall piece that's going to fit over here behind the seat and in front of the toilet area. So I had to get this all painted and then put together first. And hopefully, if I'm right, I've notched everything else out correctly. I'm going to have to add an extra board on that side, but until I put it in place, I won't know the length. Okay, so there's the, turn this light off here. Painted boards going around the wall there, and that access panel, which I have to be able to leave access to, because you know, as soon as I permanently screw it in, I'll need to get to that. So it goes all the way down to the floor. There has to hop over the seatbelt thing there, and the seatbelt connection coming from the floor to the seat. So then the board just sticks out here. A lot of creative cutting down there to make this happen. Now I want this board to come out just a little bit more here, and then come back across this way. So we're going to measure that, figure out what size board I need here, and then we'll go paint that one. Okay, did a little painting. First off, that board we were just talking about, which is right over there, leaning up against that other board, it's leaning, you know, sideways, because I had to paint both sides of it. So that's why it's leaning that way. As the paint dries on that, we'll put that into place tomorrow. And then that board right there, that's going to be, I only had to paint the top portion of it. That's going to be the wall between the closet and the sink. And like I say, you're only going to see the upper portion, so that's the only part I painted on that one. That board was a pretty coarse kind of lumber. You can see that right there. And I did it as well as I could without having it drip much. And so I'm going to have to put another coat of paint on that probably here in another hour or so. And then again tomorrow we'll put that into place. So what I'm going to do now is I've cut these boards here, these 2x4s at 46 inches a piece. They're going to go right over in that area between the floor, false floor I've made over that storage area, and all the way up to one of the beams up there. That'll be the support for that board I just showed you, separating the sink and the closet. Alrighty, got these two boards up, going from that cross member up to one of the original cross member beams for the upper bunk area. I'll back up so you can see where this is. So here's my top of my driver's seat, toilet, the padded wall we put behind that. The sink's going to go right between that padded wall and that wall, and the rest of that area between these beams going to the back wall, that's going to be my new closet. Alright, so I got those beams up in place. I painted the board earlier that's going to go right there, so I'm going to measure it and see if I can cut it to the right length and maybe we'll go ahead and put that board up tonight. Okay, so there's the board in place. So that right there essentially will be the sink area right there, okay, in between that board and this padded board for the back of the toilet. And you can see it's all in place. Paint's still a little wet. Little area up at the ceiling, that's okay. I'm going to be putting on a false ceiling of that kind of wood grain panel like that's over here, up there underneath to make a ceiling. But you can see it hangs out just a little bit too far right there. So I'm going to have to notch right up here. Here's what's keeping it from going all the way over to the wall right there. I have to do a little notch right there. Since the paint's still wet tonight, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Then I can slide it just a little bit closer to the wall. Yeah, that is a window that I will never use again. And that'll make it just a little bit closer to the wall, especially down there too. So, just won't focus on it. But anyway, so that gives you an idea of then how it's all going to look back here with my seating area. That'll be the closet. There'll be a cabinet coming 12 inches off the back wall with that hatch there for access underneath. That'll be the sink area right there. Toilet area in front. We now have it walled out. And a little extension will come off here as that paint dries tomorrow. And then we'll be able to put in the countertop, which will go from the top of that board there across to there, and then it'll cover this whole toilet area when the toilet is not being used. So I'll have a nice big countertop area for my George Foreman or my Ninja Foodie. So there you go. So there's where we're stopping tonight. And yeah, no Rusty again. Sorry about that, but it's Friday night. So my wife went to bed early because she had a rough week. And so Rusty was in bed with her like, yeah, I ain't coming back out. So I didn't drag him out of there just to do the opening and the close. We'll make sure he's in the video tomorrow, all right? Thanks for tuning in. As always, please subscribe. Please like and comment if you'd like to. I get to your comments within 24 hours usually, now that I'm doing this project. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and everyone else sleeping inside, out. Who were those girls? Why'd you bring them here? Well, I was down at the AM PM Mini Mart getting my dinner like I always do. And, you know, she came over and offered to, you know, nuke my corn dog. What could I say? Rusty. Alright, there he is, the famous meatball dog. Run, Rusty, run! Rusty. What, you hear something? Smell something?